This is a steal for the Dallas Cowboys that no one saw coming, as today we talk about NFL free agent predictions and a dark horse candidate to replace Javonte Williams as the new RB1 in Dallas. We'll get you all the information right here today on Cowboys Digest. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to today's show, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. First of all, I want to address the elephant in the room. Sorry for being away for the past 5 days. Had some unfortunate family matters to take care of, but we're back here. And we're going to be trying to post 2 times daily on weekdays from here on out, plus more shorts, hopefully maybe a live a week. Let me know what y'all want in terms of content, because ultimately I do this for y'all and I really want to get more engaged with the community here. So give me some ideas down in the comment of how I can better serve you in some way. So we're going to talk today about Javonte Williams, or maybe a Javonte Williams new person. I guess that's not the right way to put it, but I think in a lot of ways we just expect the Dallas Cowboys to go out there and re-sign Javonte Williams. He is by far and away the best Cowboys back, at least in the past couple years. Now, I love Rico Dowdle, and I think that there is a lot to be said about him, and he is a free agent this season, but Javonte came in here with little to no expectations. In fact, some people predicting that he would not be the running back by the end of week 4 or 5. It would be Jaden Blue or Miles Sanders or whoever you might think it was. And he came in and he squashed those expectations and played absolutely fantastic. I mean, in 16 games, he had over 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, and he absolutely ran the ball like it was for his living. And guess what? It was. And now his market value has skyrocketed. Now, before we get into the rest of today's show, this video is brought to you by Koshi. And if you download Koshi using the link in the description and use code DIGESTNFL, you're going to get $20 when you trade your first 100. Koshi is the largest prediction market in the United States, and on their platform, you can trade yes or no on real-life events such as sports, elections, news, even weather. You can trade on how much rain Dallas is going to have. Pretty much anything you can have on Koshi. And whether you're in California or Texas like the Dallas Cowboys, or anywhere across the country, Koshi is now live in all 50 states. For sports fans, we can trade on game outcomes, player performances, or playoff chances, all in a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. Right now, I'm looking at the NFC Championship and see that, hey, the Rams are behind Seattle, but they look pretty good. A $100 trade can net you a gain of $186 if you trade today. Plus, you can get $20 free when you trade your first 100 on Koshi. It's genuinely the smarter way to use your sports or news knowledge, and you can close positions whenever you want. Again, download Koshi using the link in the description, and don't forget to use this code DIGESTNFL to get your $20 bonus. So speaking of Javonte, he had a fantastic season, and his market value, of course, has gone up. And now that we look at the upcoming free agent running back class, we can kind of see who the Cowboys could have available to go out and sign. Now, again, Javonte seems to be the highest priority, put that out there, but there's names like Najee Harris, who tore his ACL this season, so I don't think they're going to go after him. Austin Eckler, who is over the age of 30 and looks like he's 35. But then there's a name just before Javonte that I want to examine today, specifically because Bleacher Report examined him, and that is Travis Etienne of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, again, this is all coming from a report from Bleacher Report talking about the top landing spots for Jacksonville's running back after their playoff loss, knowing they lost to the Buffalo Bills this past Sunday. Their season is over, and for Travis, he's looking for maybe a new home. And a lot of factors in here talk about money, talk about playing time. And I'm not going to say that the Jaguars are not going to try and bring him back, but their running back has been a kind of weird situation with Travis Etienne, which begs the question, should the Cowboys even want him? Well, according to Bleacher Report, yes, they are in fact the number one option for Travis Etienne should he go elsewhere in NFL free agency away from Jacksonville. So I want to examine this article. I want to look at it a lot, but I first want to do this, and that is to take a look at Travis Etienne and Javonte Williams' season last year to see, is this even a topic that we should be discussing? He had 260 rushing attempts, which is 8 more than Javonte. His rushing yards were a little bit less, about 100 less. His rushing yards per attempt were less, and his rushing touchdowns were less. But the way he improves his value over Javonte is the receptions. 36 receptions. He's got 292 yards, 8.1 on the receiving yards per catch. And he had 6 receiving touchdowns. This all leads to the point of, with Dak Prescott as your quarterback, adding in a Travis Etienne type player could be a very good decision. Okay, so we've gone through the fact. This is something we should examine, especially with what the market value might be for Javonte, as where it might be for Travis Etienne. So as we continue to look at this further, we talked about stats, but overall, a 71-yard longest rush and 62 first downs are stuff you have to look at as well, just because you have to see his efficiency, along with what can he burst from. And his total yards, if you compare him to Javonte, are a little bit more. 1338 total for Javonte Williams, 1399 for Travis Etienne. Now, again, they're minuscule, and age-wise, Travis Etienne is actually a little bit older than Javonte Williams. So right there, again, you're comparing and kind of picking straws at this point, saying, okay, they're all kind of similar stat-wise. What did Bleacher Report say? Why is Etienne the top choice for the Cowboys as opposed to Javonte? Well, let's read the report right now. Alex K. here of BR saying Etienne would be a sensible choice for a Cowboys team that should be feeling desperate for some backfield stability. The team hasn't fielded the same Week 1 starter in consecutive years since Ezekiel Elliott departed for the first time in 2022. But Etienne could fill that void and hold down Dallas's RB1 job for the next few years, end quote. And while yes, that is very true, some people might argue that it's probably the same thing for Javonte Williams. I mean, he is a guy who will come in here and did not know what to expect, had the ACL tear a couple years ago, was ravaged by injuries, and yet came in and performed well, and the Cowboys loved him, and that's a guy they already have experience with, rather than bringing in somebody else. But the injuries is where this takes a turn for me, and that's where I continue on with Alex K. With a wealth of starting experience, Etienne has performed that role in 60 of his first 66 NFL games, and a history of availability after returning from a preseason Lisfranc injury that derailed his entire rookie campaign. The Cowboys could finally have a stalwart in their running backs room, again, by coming to terms with the 26-year-old. That's where it really comes to a big situation for me. Etienne, injury-wise, has a better history than Javonte Williams. If you are going to give any sort of running back long-term contract, which I consider 3 years or more, just because running backs are that futile in today's game in the NFL, you have to be considering not just this year's worth of injuries, but prior years and years past. And, well, let's just say it, injuries and miles on the body. Alex K. finishes off his report by saying this: upgrading to a more versatile and talented back like Etienne could elevate Dallas to a very top of the league in rushing, taking pressure off quarterback Dak Prescott to shoulder the offensive load in 2026, end quote. All of what Alex K. is saying is 100% true. And I think there are probably still people who are comparison saying, well, is this the right move? And so I once again went back to StatHead and said, okay, give me the comparison for their entire seasons, not just this past year, but their entire years. Javonte has played more games. However, they're AV 35 average. Rushing attempts, about 897, 858 for Javonte. The yards go to Etienne. The yards per attempt go to Etienne. The rushing touchdowns go to Etienne. Receptions go to Javonte. The receiving yards go to Etienne, including yards per reception touchdowns, and if you care about the amount of fantasy points. All this to be said, Javonte did kind of get his role, I'm not going to say taken away, but it was definitely beat down to a pulp in Denver because he got injured and they didn't need him. And yeah, he was out there and he was in the game, but he did not start. And he was not the main lead back, and he ran it, less times, as we can see from the rushing yards and rushing attempts. As for Travis Etienne, though, the big thing that he has on him is market value. As of right now, it culminates with this. If both of these guys are so comparable and in that light, basically a similar enough player to earn the same amount of money, then who's the cheaper guy? Or is there a cheaper guy? Well, as of right now, according to Spotrac, the calculated market value for Travis Etienne is a 2-year, $13.6 million contract, which boils down to a $6.8 million salary per year. Pretty good, right? Pretty good. That's a value you can get behind and not worry. Is Javonte less, according to Spotrac? No. He also requires an extra year. 3 years, $22 million is the market value, as Spotrac puts it here, with an average AAV or an average annual salary, whatever you want to call it, of $7.3 million. So about 0.5 million more, or 500,000 more, whatever you want to put that, than Travis Etienne. That leads me to my final point here. Could Travis Etienne be less expensive? Yes. Could Travis Etienne be the better receiving back and in the right system be the better running back because of his agility, his speed, and certain characteristics that he has over Javonte? Yes. Is there characteristics that Javonte has that Travis Etienne does not that you like? Also, yes. But I think the one thing at the end of the day that is the biggest question of all is how much do the Cowboys like Javonte Williams? Because they spoke insanely high of him this season, insanely high of him at their postseason press conference, what do you want to call that. And they have been on record to say that their number one priority this offseason is to get a long-term contract for Javonte Williams. So at the end of the day, it comes down to literally just one thing. Does Javonte want to stay? Do the Cowboys want Javonte to stay? And is there another team out there in the NFL that might offer Javonte more money rather than the Dallas Cowboys? And in that case scenario, you have to carefully and considerably look at Travis Etienne because he is a very good backup option. He is a very good running back to have. But again, I think for Travis Etienne, I would like a 3-year contract. Based off his injury history, I trust that. Whereas with Javonte, I wouldn't mind a 3-year contract, but I think I might be more considerable for paying him over $7 million to go for a 2-year. But that's just my take. That's just my opinion, and I want to know yours. So let me know down in the comments section. Who would you rather have as the Cowboys running back next season? Do you think it should be Javonte, or do you think it should be Travis Etienne? Or do you think it should be somebody else? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. J for Javonte or T for Travis. Who would you rather have as the Cowboys running back next season? That's what we got for you here today on Cowboys Digest. Again, apologies for the lack of content the past 5 days or so, but don't worry, we'll be back rolling, running, and lots of content coming. I promise you, lots of videos. So stick around, and hey, if you're still here and you're not subscribed yet, go down there and do that. I promise you're not going to regret it. I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you next time, guys. Peace out.